Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about the insurrectionist Democrats in the Tennessee State House who are probably going to get their asses booted out of office for the Insurrection Act they created this past week in Tennessee Capitol, and how they're now trying to play the race card as the only argument that they basically have of why they shouldn't be expelled from office, which is an absolute bullshit card at this point, dude. And it's something that Democrats always love to do, by the way. When they have no actual argument against firearms and two-way ownership in this country, they'll always play the fucking race card. When they have no argument about why they should get thrown out of office for doing actual textbook definition of an insurrection, they'll play the fucking race card, etc., etc. So there's a couple different things we're going to talk about here. Well, first and foremost, we're going to discuss what an actual insurrection is by definition here, just so everybody's on the same page with this whole thing. And then we'll go on to talk about why these guys that are in the Tennessee State House right now, these Democrat guys like Justin Jones, legitimately did create an insurrection this past week. So first off, you have the textbook definition of insurrection here, which is a violent uprising against an authority or government. And then on the side here it has rebellion. It says rebellion, uprising, or insurrection is a refusal of obedience or order. It refers to the open resistance against the orders of an established authority. And then going further down here, what is the legal definition of insurrection? Insurrection, an organized and usually violent act of revolt or rebellion against an established government or governing authority of a nation state or other political entity by a group of its citizens or subjects. Also, any act of engaging in such a revolt. So, yeah, needless to say, if we go by this textbook definition right there, what happened this past week in the Tennessee State House there? You had the following take place, which was, let me go ahead and find it real quick here. This video right here from the Tennessee Holler people, which, okay, hang on, I need to, did not have the right thing there. Yeah, it was this video here, which was the Tennessee Holler people here saying, reality, Tennessee Republicans only offered moments of silence, and Speaker Sexton cut off Democrats' attempts to speak on guns, so Reps Jones, Gloria, and Pearson disrupted session, aka they did something that should see them thrown out of office immediately, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the real problem with our government right now in this country, especially at state levels and stuff like that, dude. This is the same kind of bullshit that black supremacists, like, Stephanie House did here in Ohio about 5 years ago when she was bitching and moaning about gun rights back then. And she should have been she was tossed out of chambers that day. She should have been expelled from our retired General Assembly back then, dude. But yeah, you had, quote, as they put it here, inaction is radical. Jones, Johnson, Pearson disrupted because Speaker Sexton and Tennessee Republicans only offered moments of silence, cut off discussion about guns. Now they face expulsion. As they should, dude. You are trying to have a moment of silence for dead children, and what do these fucking assholes do? They want to sit there and make it a grandstand about them bitch-ass selves is what it is, dude. And I'm not least surprised because you look at fucking Justin Jones, dude. That guy is a BLM terrorist. I guarantee you he had a mask on during 2020 and was doing some fucking arson back then, dude, in Tennessee before he became a state rep there. Because I'd like to point some out on this one, dude. At least 2 of the 3 people here are first-term state reps in Tennessee, and they're both from the Memphis area, dude, which is the biggest fucking shithole in the entire state of Tennessee right now, dude. It is a fucking ghetto that is one of the worst places you could ever live in that state right now, dude, because it's one of the most violent, crime-ridden areas in the entire state of Tennessee right now. Just like every other major city in this country, dude. It's always violent, crime-ridden areas like that. But anywho, so as this video shows here, though, this is the actual video from their state capitol here today.
And the family.
Okay, so she said,
moment of silence to pray for the children, the teachers, and the family.
Doing a moment of silence for the kids and the teachers and everybody else.
For the events of earlier this week. Jefferson Capley is going to offer a prayer. That's just evil. I have no other explanation on something like that.
We need to do something about gun control.
Representative Pearson, stay on the bill. I don't want to have to start ruling out order again. Representative Pearson.
Yeah, trying to throw that black power fist.
The cries of the people are loud.
Representative Pearson, stay on the bill, sir. Mr. Clerk, can you read a rule for me, please, on voting? If a member is deemed absent by the clerk during voting, the clerk shall lock the member's electronic roll call machine.
Mr. Speaker, members of the other side of the aisle always wear pins that say the NRA. They wear pins with the AR-15 on it. But you're telling me that I can...
By the way, this is Justin Jones, the guy I'm talking about right here. And this is the dude we're going to talk about in a minute here because he was also doing some other terroristic type of shit here in the last day or two is what it was.
Can I wear a pin with a picture of an AR-15?
Representative Jones?
So please don't say you're pro-life and then vote to put more weapons on the street.
Representative Mitchell, you are...
Man, the fucking Democrat.
Sir, you're under welcome and honoring, and you need to stay. I'm Representative. Welcome. No. Representative Mitchell, you're out of order.
Y'all just think about those 6.
Okay, so this is the problem I have with these people at the Tennessee Holler, legitimately. So they're sitting there talking about how Sexton, the Speaker of the House there in Tennessee, is quote-unquote cutting off members of the Tennessee General Assembly there. They're all Democrats. Yet what they don't talk about is how there's a reason why when you actually look at different state house chambers, and even in federal Congress for that matter, why you have rules of order is what it is, dude. It's so that you don't have outburst shit like that is what it is, dude. And that's exactly what Sexton was talking about there. He's talking about, hey, you're out of order on this one. That's why he's gaveling them down. Because it's like, you've spoken about what you want to talk about or whatever the case be. We're not going to talk about this fucking, you trying to grab guns at this point, asshole. And that's the thing. I would honestly love to see who the fuck funded, whether it be that Bo guy that was a Democrat or this Pearson guy or Justin Jones or any of them, dude. Who is putting money in their pockets? Is it BLM? Is it Act Blue? Is it, I don't know, Moms Demand Action, Giffords, Brady Campaign, March for Our Lives, maybe? Who the fuck knows, dude? Because you know damn well that some of these anti-gun groups are 100% fucking doing what they did here with Allison Russo in Ohio, where they literally hand them an envelope full of fucking cash on camera during House Oversight Committee hearings, dude. Let's go happen to Allison Russo 2 years ago. 2 years ago, May. And I guarantee they're doing that same exact shit, dude. Where they're just like, here's a bunch of money, pass this gun bill, submit this gun bill for us. And that's why they're trying to make this all about fucking race and shit, dude. Because they know they're a bunch of anti-gun criminals is what it is, dude. Who are trying to strip away people's rights at this point, and don't realize that they're going to be the ones that are going to be having their rights stripped away when it's all said and done, dude. It's like that old saying about they came for, whoever, and I said nothing, and then kept saying that, eventually they came for me, and there was nobody left to say anything. And that's exactly what's going to be right there to people, dude. Legitimately. So, anyway, continuing on with the rest of this, though.
People we never welcome in here anymore. And just think if you go... Now, I will speak.
Go back
you're
on
under welcome and honoring, and you need to stay. I'm Representative. Welcome. No. Representative Mitchell, you're out of order.
Y'all just think about those 6 people we never welcome in here anymore. And just think if your guns are working.
Equivalent, maybe worse, depending on how you look at it, of doing an insurrection in the Capitol. It could be removal of committees. It could be censorship. It could be expulsion from the General Assembly, anywhere in
as it should be.
There's those who are trying to say that what we did was radical.
Because it is, you jerk off.
What is going on here needed something that was serious, a serious response to the inaction of this body. And that prayers are good, but if you continue to...
I'm not even going to listen to that guy's bullshit, because that's a good, it's fucking bullshit. Justin Jones is a piece of shit, dude. He wants to sit there and act like what he did is any kind of fucking, has any kind of merit right now. It does not, douchebag. You want to fucking talk about stuff, Justin? You want to have an actual conversation about stuff, buddy? How about how about stop standing on the fucking graves of dead children, you fucking piece of shit? How about stop your fucking buddies like Biden and company from continuing to commit these fucking sick-ass atrocities? Have their fucking little pieces of shit, commit them, and then have a bunch of assholes out in the fucking Tennessee State Capitol this week holding up 7 fucking fingers trying to recognize the mass murdering piece of shit who murdered 3 9-year-old children and sit there and act like they're a fucking victim in this. No, they're not. They were the fucking perpetrator, and they are rotting in hell where they belong right now. I am so fucking fed up with these people, dude, entirely. This is why I seriously hate the fucking Democrat Party so much, dude. Because they are fucking scum. They are the absolute demonic pieces of shit in our country right now, dude. In this battle of good and evil. And that right there proves it to me. When you got Jones being like, oh, but we need action. Thoughts and prayers or whatever. We need action, though. It's like, no, you need to be fucking thrown out of the whole General Assembly. Not only thrown out of the General Assembly at this point, bro. You need to catch charges, motherfucker. You need to be a fucking felon when Tennessee ups deprivation of rights of law from a misdemeanor to a felony for the first time in a state legislature. And they need to charge your ass as a fucking felon under deprivation of rights of law and under an Insurrection Act type of scenario at this point, dude. And yes, you should be expelled from that, you motherfucker. And to sit here and have these jerk-offs at the fucking Tennessee holler giving you basically carte blanche and jerking you off from their fucking side of leftist history is what it is, dude. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. They're trying to rewrite history like that. That's why they have the whole stupid-ass page over. It's all like, oh, Speaker Sexton's telling lies. No, he's not. He's telling the fucking truth, dude. Y'all broke committee rules, dude. You broke rules of order. They were trying to have a moment of silence for murdered American citizens, including fucking children, and you pieces of shit wanted a grandstand to make about your fucking selves, dude. Because that's what you are as a Democrat Party, dude. You are fucking literal Nazi scumbags. You are the fucking modern day Nazis, dude. You are the modern day fascists in this country. And I have no problem calling your bitch asses out on it, dude. And you got a bunch of ass clowns in this comment section basically being like, they stand with the Democrat Party. Of course you fuckers do, dude, because you always do. Because you're all a bunch of scumbags. And then on the same coin here, I don't know if we're actually going to show this whole thing, but basically, again, going back to Justin Jones as an activist and stuff like that, who now became a state rep, is what it is, dude. This is who Justin Jones is right here, where he's out in the middle of the fucking street with a bullhorn. And by the way, he had the same bullhorn. I think it was either him or Pearson had the bullhorn in the chambers, trying to bullhorn down the state speaker of the House, dude. Because they're a bunch of leftist, activist assholes who should have been disqualified on the spot from holding office. Because I guarantee the real reason they won office there, dude, in Tennessee, is because they were running on an anti-gun, anti-life platform in a Democrat metropolis, dude. Because that's how these fuckers always do, dude. And that's exactly what we need 23rd of the Constitution right now, where any of that kind of shit, whether it be anti-gun, anti-life, etc., dude, where you're killing innocents in the womb, where you're taking away people's gun rights, etc., when you're a pre-oath breaker like that, no, you need to be tossed out of the race entirely at that point, dude. And it's as simple as that. By the way, this is the same kind of bullshit that we saw after Dayton, where you had a bunch of assholes in Dayton basically coming out and being like, you need to do something, DeWine. And then he tried to push his anti-gun crap is what it was, dude, and he rightfully got knocked the fuck down with it. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of stupid crap here. I'm not even going to really go through the whole thing, but yeah, it's just basically Justin being a jerk off is what it is, dude. And then you got your 50 or 100 fucking retarded leftists, your Dougs and your Karens and your other MDA members, etc. there, fucking jerking each other off. Indoctrinating their little kids is what it is, dude. Just fucking disgusting, dude. I'll tell you what, Justin Jones reminds me a hell of a lot of Malcolm X, dude. Legitimately. He is a radical Democrat, legitimately, dude. And you may remember how Malcolm X died, by the way. He was killed by his own people. Legitimately. As far as, from my understanding, when Malcolm X was killed, he was actually shot to death on the stage while he was protesting something or whatever the case be about communists. It was basically bullshit and espousing like communist and Marxist ideology at the time of his death. And you had the people that were just like, enough of your shit, dude. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if it was the same kind of thing like that, where BLM just like, you know, took Justin's ass out or whatever the case be. But who the hell knows, dude? The left always eats itself is what it is anymore. You know, just to be clear on this whole thing, I'm not calling for violence against anyone. I'm just saying legitimately, I'm talking about history repeats itself a lot of times. And unfortunately, that's usually what happens is what it is, dude. So, but yeah. And then we actually had, we're going to talk about this one right here, which was Speaker Cameron Sexton, who is the Tennessee Speaker of the House there, said, to some on the other side of the aisle, this is, quote, good trouble. Such a stupid phrase, by the way. And even said they, quote, should not be disciplined for their actions. These actions are blatant disregard of House rules and towards the sergeant at arms, who, by the way, that sergeant at arms person that was in their Tennessee State House there should have pulled out multiple pairs of handcuffs and arrested Jones, Pearson, etc. on the spot right there, dude. And they should have expelled them that fucking day and had them literally walked out in handcuffs, perp block style, dude. Okay, so it was that piece of shit Justin that had the fucking bullhorn then? Yeah. This is what an insurrection looks like, by the way. 3 Democrat pieces of shit trying to take over the House chambers, trying to steal the fucking speaker's gavel, or trying to steal the speaker's gavel slash pulpit is what it is, dude. To pull a bunch of bullshit is what it is, dude. Absolutely fucking disgusting, dude. By the way, that's what a communist dictatorship kind of shit looks like right there, dude. When you're trying to take over state houses and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's another one. And then, just to finish off with this whole thing, we're going to talk about this last one here, which was the piece of shit woman who is the current, I believe, leadership of one of the biggest teachers unions in America right now. Her name is Randy. She was talking about gun confiscation the other day. Yeah, Randy Weingarten wasted no time turning this tragedy into a pulpit for the left's agenda. Teachers union leader Randy Weingarten calls for full-scale gun confiscation.
An epidemic that our great nation must solve. And how many lives will be shattered before we have the courage to do what Scotland did, what Australia did, what New Zealand did, what other great democracies do? We must solve this epidemic. And that's up to us. An epidemic that our great nation must solve.
Okay, sorry, just repeating now. So, 2 things on that, Randy. Number 1, we're not a fucking democracy, you stupid fucking cunt. We are a constitutional republic and have been so since 1776, when our founding fathers literally fucking beat the British Empire's ass to become a fucking nation. That's number 1, bitch. Number 2, why the fuck do we even have teachers unions in this country anymore, dude? That right there is the greatest example I've ever seen right there of exactly what we need to ban teachers unions nationwide, dude, because it's always these leftist asshole fucking Karen types like Randy Weingarten who lead this shit, dude. Why are we allowing any fucking dollars, any fucking dimes, any nickels, any quarters, anything like that, dude, to be not even 1 fucking red cent, by the way, should be put into any union in this country that is a teachers union anymore, dude? It is absolutely ridiculous when you allow these radical leftist Democrat voter bases to control that shit, dude. And what are they doing when they're doing that stuff? They are pushing anti-white racist shit through CRT and other crap fucking indoctrination that they call fucking teaching is what it is. And then on top of that, they're also fucking pushing transgenders at your kids is what it is, dude. And I don't know about the rest of you, dude, but I'm pretty sick and tired of it, is what it is. I am very fucking fed up with this shit, dude, is what it is. Because I have seen it far too many times in my life. I have done enough personal research on my own right now in historical, whether it be historical research or whether it be whatever the case be, various time periods throughout history and studying various stuff is what it is, to know exactly what a full-scale takeover looks like. And what we're seeing right now is that we are seeing the beginnings of legitimately the rules for radicals playbook being played out right now in front of us, dude, where they are destabilizing our country for a communist / Marxist takeover is what it is. And whether it be socialism, communism, Marxism, doesn't matter, honestly, dude. It's all the same shit. It's all various fucking pieces of the same coin is what it is, dude. The entire point of the matter is enough is enough of this shit, dude. It is time to fight back against this. We must stop this shit in its fucking tracks. We want to have a country ever again, dude. And if we don't do that, we're fucked as a nation. And I believe truthfully, with what I've seen just here and alone in the last few days and stuff like that, and like I've said on this channel since then, since last Tuesday, or was it last Monday actually, even though I think it was last Monday when it happened. So about a week ago now, I said then, I think it was around last Tuesday or Wednesday when I said that, I believe that we are in the very early stages of a second American Civil War right now. And I believe that the Nashville attack was the final spark right now. And it's just a matter of times before we start seeing other battles take place at this point. And I guarantee when you look into the history books 20, 30, 40 years from now, you'll see the 2020s as that time period of history where it was the stages leading directly up to a second American Civil War is what it is. And honestly, it frightens me. It really does. It frightens me as a citizen of this nation to see what's happening because you have so much mental illness of these fucking people not being treated the way it needs to be treated. You know, whether it be them taking out gender dysphoria from the DSM books, whether it be us taking away state hospitals back in the 80s, whatever the case be. And then not only that, but you have these people who are doing actual terrorist acts and stuff like that and not being charged with them. Most of the time, it's because they're unidentifiable in these various crimes and stuff they're committing, dude. You know, there's a reason why in 2023 you have Antifa types and stuff like that who will still wear surgical masks on their faces, dude, because they don't want to be identified. And then the irony is, you know, you had that video pop out from the Supreme Court this past weekend where it was some fucking supposed like neo-Nazi guy and then some, you know, other left-wing guy, because they're both left-wing at the end of the day. Let's say it like it is, dude. It's all same fucking shit is what it is there. But, yeah, you had the dude with the neo-Nazi sign, and you had this other leftist guy who was one of the trans people is what it was, who had a surgical mask on and was like, saying to the neo-Nazi guy, is like, why are you wearing a mask, bro? And it's like, what the hell kind of fucking retarded irony is that when you have one guy wearing a mask asking another guy why he's wearing a mask? It's like, obviously you're both wearing a mask because you want to be unidentifiable is what it is. And even as the white hate guy basically said, he was like, oh, it's so assholes like you can't fucking identify me and take my job later on is what it is. And that's what it is for most of the people, dude, you know? And it's sad that that's what happens. And what's even more fucked up is there was a second video then of his buddy who was squaring off with these people and stuff like that and calling them for what they were. And he said they're fucking, the trans folks were a bunch of fucking degenerates is what it was. And then meanwhile, you had one of them say something about like, oh, you can see his face or whatever. Go get a picture of him or something like that. And I think they were talking about his buddy who had been arrested at that point. And that's what they do, man. That's what the left has been doing for decades now is what it is. And when I say decades, I mean at least a decade anyway, because you look back at Antifa for the past 10 years or so now, what's the first thing that they do, man? They'll sit there with a fucking phone and start taking pictures of people and shit at various protests and rallies and stuff like that against them so they can go fuck with those people's lives later on is what it is, man. And it's exactly why that shit alone, it's exactly why doxing and stuff like that, dude, should be a fucking, not only a felony, it should be a federal felony nationwide at this point, dude. Because if you're specifically trying to identify someone and trying to take someone's private information and stuff like that to hurt them financially, physically, whatever the case be, no, your ass needs to be in jail for a long fucking time for that one, dude. And I can tell you that shit firsthand, dude, from what's happened to me last year is what it is. With everything with fucking barbecue and those guys. Specifically that piece of shit Barron is what it is, dude. Taking my fucking videos out of context. By the way, stuff that had already been privatized at that point in time in history. That there was no actual, you know, physical, you know, public thing for them to have for it. To where it wasn't fair use. It never was fair use. And then taking it all out of context to make me look bad is what it is, dude. Because they're a bunch of assholes is what it is, dude. Specifically Barron was anyway. The rest of them kind of were too because they were involved in it is what it is. So, you know, that's why I won't talk to those guys ever again. And that's why I'll call them out on that one, dude. And they're really lucky I didn't go get a fucking lawyer, that I couldn't afford a lawyer at the time, because I really would have sued the shit out of all of them is what it was right now, dude, for various slander and defamation. So, anyway. But yeah, needless to say, I'm still pissed about that one almost a year later now, as I have a right to be at that point, because they put me in a depressive state then, dude. And I was in a really, really bad place for a long time. And I don't want to get into full details, but if it hadn't been for other folks in this community that I do weekly chats with, I might not be here today. And I'm going to say it like that is what it is, dude, because that's how I'm going to leave it right now. You know, take that for what you will. But yeah, I was in a very, very bad place in my own head for a while after that whole situation. And there was days there where I was eyeballing, dude. And I'll leave it at that, really. You can, insert what you want there. Because I thought I was going to be attacked, is what it was, dude. I thought I was going to have people show up in my home, is what it was. And it's a scary situation, when you don't know about these things, dude. And to have people, try to slander you and defame you for nothing, for speaking your fucking mind, for telling the truth, by the way, about how this country was founded and how, what we were heading to back then. And the thing is, we're even more accelerated now is what it is, dude. We're another year ahead of the time. We're a year, further now, and we're even closer to something going off right now. And that's exactly what I was talking about in the whole thing. Nobody, and the thing about that whole situation as well is, nobody ever wanted to talk about how the entire reason that I went into that whole tirade that day was because I was talking about why I wouldn't date leftist women. Nobody ever remembers that part of it, dude. That's why I'll point that out, by the way, right now, because that's what it was. It was me going on the whole thing about this is why I won't date leftist women, et cetera, and then it went the whole thing after that, dude. Speaking the truth, talking about the founding of this country, what it's founded upon. Now we're a melting pot, obviously, or at least we're supposed to be is what it is, but unfortunately people don't want to melt is what it is, specifically Islam is what it is. That refuses to melt in the shit. And then, yeah, you can't really have a melting pot when people refuse to melt into it is what it is. So, but anywho, it is what it is, man. And, unfortunately, I think a lot of people, they just want to take it about race, dude. They just want to take it about race. They just want to make it about race, and they just want to hate on white people is what it is, dude, legitimately. And I've seen that firsthand. I've lived in Columbus a couple years of my life, and I'll tell you what, dude, I experienced so much anti-white racism when I was living there. From bus drivers in that city to pretty much just the general public is what it was, dude, that were minorities. So, and it's a sad situation, dude. It really is. And it doesn't need to be like that. I did nothing wrong. I was just sitting on a fucking bus. And then some driver wanted to make it racial is what it was, dude. So, et cetera, et cetera. But anywho, yeah, like I said, though, I think really honestly, when it comes to things, you're going to see Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and that Gloria woman all expelled from the Tennessee General Assembly is what it'll be. Hopefully this coming week is what it'll be then, because again, when these people have no actual argument, they'll always try to play the race card, dude, every single time. Or if they're trying to push anti-gun shit or whatever it is, they're again trying to play the race card and be like, why do you want to do this or do that? And it hurts black Americans and this, that. And it's like, you realize that that a lot of the people you're talking about are the ones that are committing crimes, right? Like, just saying, man. Like, there's a reason why when you look at populations in this country and you start to break down crime and stuff based on that, you start to see a pattern is what it is, man. So, and that being said, does that mean that you shouldn't have black Americans be able to protect themselves versus a fucking tyrannical government either? No, they should 100% be able to do that, dude. But the fact of the matter is, when you have people in that same community who are the ones committing crimes against those individuals, it's like, yes, you should be able to have that single mother or that single father or whatever it is, be able to protect themselves with constitutional carry versus that criminal in their neighborhood that's going to get a gun illegally, that's going to steal somebody else's gun and go attack them is what it is, dude. That's the entire point of constitutional carry, by the way. is to put everybody on the even playing field, an even keel, if you will. Not have the fucking criminal up here and have a citizen down here where they can't be armed because of bullshit permitting laws and stuff like that, where they can't afford permits, is what it is, dude. And that's the whole thing about gun control in most cases, dude. It's all racist. It's all racist origins, and it's all fucking anti-poor is what it is, dude. It's against poor people and it's against minorities is what it is, dude. Always has been, always will be. And that's exactly why I'm so sick and tired of these Jim Crow laws being in the books right now, dude, because all it does is hurt Americans is what it is, dude. It's a bunch of shit entirely. I mean, hell, you look back into the reason why a lot of state houses in this country, you can't be armed in them is what it is, dude. And it goes back to some old racist fucking white asshole in the California General Assembly who had a problem with a bunch of Black Panthers walking in with shotguns, who, by the way, were legally in their right to do so. They walked into the fucking California State House back in the late 60s, I believe was what it was, around Vietnam time period. And they immediately handed over a bunch of shotguns to the fucking cops and then walked out. And the cops walked out with their shotguns and handed them back to them. And then it was some fucking literal fucking douchebag back then who was an actual, I'm pretty sure, Klansman is what it was, dude, back in those days, who was like, I have a problem with this, and submitted legislation in the California General Assembly there. They passed it very quickly. That became a law in California where they had to ban guns in the state house then. And then it caught like wildfire across the country, dude. Because unfortunately, back in those days, a lot of how California went, the rest of the country went. And it's exactly why you have a bunch of bullshit gun laws on the books right now, dude, that are completely unconstitutional and are 100% racist against fucking Americans, is what it is. And that's why I will fight to my dying breath, honestly, dude, to fight for Second Amendment rights for everybody in this country, dude. For every legal citizen of this nation to be armed. Because it's absolute bullshit to have people have restrictions on their freedoms and have a single mother or a single father or whatever it is, or even just an everyday person like myself who wants to protect ourselves versus a violent criminal threat, and we have our rights restricted. Fuck that, dude. Hell no. We should be able to carry whatever the fuck we want, whenever the fuck we want. Because the thing is, it's not going to be, a criminal is not going to tell you the date and time that they're going to attack you, dude. They're just going to attack wherever the fuck they want to attack. And usually where they attack is gun-free zones. We've seen it time and time again. It's why these fucking school shooters pick a bunch of schools that are anti-gun, that are gun-free zones and stuff like that, dude. It's why the piece of shit in Nashville chose the school that they chose, because they knew for a fact that it was a gun-free zone. It had no school resource officer. It had no actual armed security at it. And then you got that fucking cunt Shannon Watts literally gaslighting everybody, completely lying piece of shit Shannon Watts, trying to claim that there was armed teachers in that school. No, there wasn't, you fucking lying cunt. Nobody was armed that day, bitch. And as far as we know now, Evelyn Dickhouse, the 9-year-old child, died in that school shooting because she was trying to pull the fucking fire alarm and save more of her friends. That little girl died a hero, and she should be remembered forever. The only name that people need to be talking about is Evelyn Dickhouse. That is the name we need to be remembering, dude. Remember Eve. And we need to be having that go as a hashtag now, dude. Have hashtag remember Eve. And then hashtag Nashville Strong. And go from there, dude. And you can actually have her name be enshrined into American history as the bill that repeals gun-free zones in this country. And I'm going to call on you, Tom Massey, and I'm going to call on you, Rand Paul, and I'm going to call on you, Jim Jordan. You need to pass that legislation. You want to make an act, make it the Evelyn Dickhouse Act. And have the Evelyn Dickhouse Act be what repeals gun-free zones in this country once and for fucking all. And it's as simple as that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next one.